2 pills, 5 days in the hospital. We tend to see the holidays as our time to keep going. I got so much to do, all of these commitments, all of these things, that I'm expected to be at. And when I'm there, I'm expected, of course, to be at my best. It becomes this whole thing of when you excel at everything, then everyone, of course, expects excellence in anything that you do, from the way you show up in a room, from the way you put something together. And because of that, sometimes what starts to happen is you collapse behind that excellence. So 2 pills, 5 days in the hospital. Some years ago, holiday season, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I want to keep up with everything. I want to keep up with my excellence. I want to keep up with showing up in my big, bold way of my personality. And my body was giving me a sign to stop. That internal check engine light, we have it. And when it's on your dashboard in your car, the only person that can see it is you. It's that same thing. Your internal check engine light, the only person that can see it is you, and you can feel it. And so I was feeling it. I was tired, but I have MS. And I admit at that time, it really was a secret to majority of people around me. So I didn't want to appear weak. And that's the scary part, that we will hide something to stay strong that could really put our life in danger. And so I was hiding it. I went to my neurologist and I said, I'm tired. I just need to give me something to get through holidays, get my energy back up. It's been going on for a moment. And of course, he said, rest, but I'll give you something, to help you with that fatigue you're dealing with. And I took 2 pills, took 1 pill one day, and then I took the next pill as ordered the next day. And 2 days later, I was in the emergency room. By that night, they had checked me in. I was in acute liver failure. I tried to take a shortcut. I tried to keep showing up with that excellence that was expected of me. And I was collapsing behind my excellence. Let me say that again. I was collapsing behind my excellence because everyone was getting the excellence that I put out, but I was collapsing. And so those 5 days in the hospital, that was a turning point for me. And with that turning point, I knew something had to change, but I really didn't wrap my mind around it fully. And so I went back to work because, remember, my MS is a secret. And I did a training. I led a training. And then that's when the click really happened. And it was time for me to make a pivot. See, we think a pivot sometimes is a lot of these big moves. I had to make a mental pivot. One was that I could not keep sacrificing my internal self to collapse behind my excellence. Enough was enough. And then I had to move away from what was holding me to that excellence and taking some of those things off my plate. So I resigned from the first leadership position right then. And that next year, I resigned from several. You see, we've got to understand that we can take some pivots and move away from some things. And when we do, we only evolve. Things only got better for me. I was so worried about my image, big, bold personality, my excellence. It only got better. See, because once you're past 45, you have established your baseline. People know who you are. They know your expectation. That doesn't change. You just are getting rid of the titles. So just know you can pivot after 45 and you will be okay. You already laid that foundation. You're still, as people like to say, you're still going to be that chick. Don't worry about it. But if you're trying to figure out how to make that first step, you're realizing I am collapsing behind my excellence. And guess what? Say pivot in the comments, or you can send me a DM. And let's talk about how we can get you to that first pivot so that you can stop collapsing behind your excellence.